Whenever anything starts to get popular, a few myths and rumors tend to make their way around the block. It's just how it works. Most of you are probably familiar with the Mew under the truck myth from the original Pokemon games. Some of you may even remember the trick the magazine Electronic Gaming Monthly shared that stated you could unlock Sonic and Tails in Super Smash Bros. Melee. And let me tell you, when I found out that that was not the case, I was a very upset boy. And many longtime Animal Crossing fans may even remember hearing talks of Brutus the Bulldog, with his purple fur, red eyes, and the ability to potentially erase your entire town at will. But unfortunately, and thankfully, none of these were true. But that doesn't mean that some legends aren't. Take, for example, the cutting board or the coelacanth. Those are both absolutely real. Now, the power of the internet hasn't really allowed for many rumors to survive and spread like they used to, but that doesn't mean that we still haven't found any to prove or debunk. I'm Xeon from Nintendo Life, and today we're going to be shedding some light on rumors that we found spreading around the World Wide Web about Animal Crossing New Horizons. Some of the biggest myths and rumors that come up fairly often surrounding New Horizons often are in relation to the ways to get a particular villager to move away from your island. And the reason it's such a hot topic is because you can't just pick and choose who lives on your island, unless you're lucky enough to have the amiibo card of the villager you want. And certain villagers, like Raymond, don't have amiibo cards. You also won't stumble upon a random villager on any of your mysterious Nook Miles trips, which could lead someone into taking drastic measures to get someone off their island. Some people think that ignoring a particular villager or leaving trash in front of their house or just generally treating them poorly will cause them to move out quicker. But based on information found through data mining thanks to Yui Crossing over on Twitter and Urulu over on Discord, it really doesn't seem to matter. Hitting them with your net and or pushing them until they burst with rage will hurt your friendship with said villager, but it won't cause them to move out any quicker. Even your best of animal friends will ask you if they should move on to someplace fresh and new at some point, and it just seems entirely random as to when they'll spring the question. But all of this got me thinking. I figured that if I spent enough time outside following around one of my less favorable villagers, maybe they'd randomly pop the question on me to move away. Take Murphy, for example. I think he's absolutely okay. He's probably someone's favorite, but he reminds me a bit of an old, retired Care Bear, and I'd much rather give that plot away to someone else. So I quickly tracked him down, we chatted for a bit, and then I proceeded to watch him attempt to hunt down a few butterflies, water some flowers, fall asleep in some flowers, get in a fight with Cobb, all within an hour. And then he ended it all by walking into his home, where I don't believe a villager will ever actually ask you if they can move away. I think he just eventually caught on to me. So at the end of the day, remember, don't pick on or bully your villagers. When it's time for them to move on, they'll be sure to let you know. One user on Twitter by the name of Cabby Kiwi led me to believe that it could be possible that playing an ocarina before tossing fish bait into the water could raise your chances at catching a more valuable fish. Look at this. They play their ocarina, and then they magically just caught a giant trevally. Now, obviously, that could have just been some dumb luck, but it had me curious. Even though this sounds like your run-of-the-mill, tap the A button 5 times or hold the A button when you throw a Pokeball and you'll catch a Pokemon better trick that you'd hear on the playground, I had to give it a shot. I had to. So with that, I headed off to the beach. I crafted up 10 bait and proceeded to catch 10 fish, all while making sure to play a proper tune for any fish that was considering latching onto my line. But unfortunately, I didn't really catch anything too special. My most notable catches were a barred knifejaw and a red snapper, which are definitely solid catches. I wasn't upset about them, but they definitely didn't fall into that legendary fish category that we might have hoped for. Another strange one I found while searching around Twitter was mentioned by the user ShaggyMN1975. They heard from someone that wasps apparently can't fly through stone arches. Now, at the time, I didn't know exactly what this meant, so I had to put it to the test. Unfortunately, I quickly realized that stone arches require 90 stones in order to be crafted, and I didn't feel like throwing away my life savings of stones just to test this if I could help it. And I just so happened to have 4 Bunny Day arches placed on my island. Please don't ask why. But I hoped these would work similarly, right? So I went and picked them up and placed them in an area that was closer to some of my regular trees that would have the possibility of dropping wasp nests. And almost immediately, I managed to drop one. So I ran for my life straight into the center of the arches. And the wasps were definitely a bit confused, but definitely understood the concept fairly quickly. And they got through and they gave me a good old stinger right to the face. But I wasn't to be defeated quickly. One of my villagers kindly patched me up and I went back at it. I managed to get another wasp nest to fall out of a tree, and this time I tried to take a different approach. I tried to see how long I could outrun the swarm. And sure enough, the wasps definitely could make their way through the arches, but they did stop at the gate and sort of zigzagged through them to get to me. On 2 of the later attempts, I even managed to get the wasps stuck in the middle of the arches. One time I made the mistake of running straight into the arches and they quickly applied their butts to my face, and it hurt a lot. The other time I got them stuck, I actually ran away, probably halfway down my map or so, and the intense music that plays when you're being hunted by wasps slowly faded away, and they actually disappeared. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like you can catch them any easier with your net while they're stuck in the arches, so it doesn't seem like this is a very practical thing to do, but it's definitely legit and makes for a simple party trick at the very least. So yay, one of them finally worked. Now, this next one sounds absolutely ridiculous because we all know by now that the Froggy Chair furniture piece isn't currently in New Horizons anywhere. So I was surprised to hear a user by the name of Mashed Potato Bagel over on Reddit was reporting a rumor that the cute DIY table may have a blueprint of the Froggy Chair on it. Now, I unfortunately didn't have a cute DIY table to investigate, so I checked the ones I had, which were the DIY workbench, the mini DIY workbench, and the simple DIY workbench. But all of them were a no-go. They did all feature blueprints of some kind, but not the elusive Froggy Chair. However, the DIY workbench did have a blueprint for a chair, so it gave me hope. So I reached out to a few friends to see if anyone had one, and at last, our contributor Austin came in with the goods, as she always does. She mailed me over one instantly, and after I placed the item, I got super nervous as I looked at the table, because with a quick glance, I realized there was a sketch of a chair on the DIY table. But upon further inspection, it appears to just be some sort of heart-shaped chair that strangely doesn't appear in the game to our knowledge either. Maybe it was a prototype version of the cute chair, but we may never truly know. But one thing we do know for sure is that that is not the Froggy Chair. There are a million rumors spreading around online referring to Orville blushing. Some of you might be curious, what does that even mean? What does it mean if Orville's blushing? How do you even get him to blush? Apparently, if you can make Orville blush by clapping before visiting a random Nook Miles island, you'll have a higher chance at receiving A, a slightly sought-after villager, and or B, a rare, more desirable island like Money Rock or Hybrid Flower or one of the rare fish islands. We gave it 3 solid attempts, and I even equipped my watering can before walking into the airport in hopes that I'd maybe be able to visit Hybrid Flower Island because I've never been to one of those before. And 2 of my islands that I visited were just standard islands with my native fruit, but one of them was Money Rock Island. However, I've visited Money Rock Island 3, 4, 5 times, more times than I can remember. So I'm thinking that was just a lucky coincidence. I recall reading a comment someone left on one of our tips Animal Crossing video guides that we did, saying that there was a way to get 9 bunches of bells to fly out of a Money Rock instead of the standard 8 that you can get if you prop some holes behind you or prop some furniture pieces or shrubs or whatever, just some way to support you. Now, I've never known this to be possible in any previous Animal Crossing game, but the way that fruit and resources fall from trees now in this game is different. In past games, if you didn't have an open space directly around your tree in the 8 plots, the item that would fall from the tree would bounce and then disappear. But in New Horizons, they have a larger radius that they can fall and not disappear. And that comment, I read that early on in Animal Crossing New Horizons life. So, I was like, maybe it's possible. I remembered that comment for a long time. And I'm not going to go back and find out who posted it or what. But I don't buy that one bit. That was just someone trying to troll us. And you know what? You got me. I never forgot it. Every money rock that I hit, I thought, maybe if I hit it fast enough, maybe I can get a 9th one. So thanks for that. Mission accomplished. It's not true. Or if someone else thinks it is, give us some proof. And last but not least is a rumor that spread around during the days of the 3DS with Animal Crossing New Leaf. Players said that if you turned your TV on at exactly 3:33 a.m. on Saturday night or morning, you'd be treated to an extra special alien broadcast. Now, I personally never tried this out back in New Leaf, but I was anxious but excited to try it out in New Horizons. So I called up my buddy Josh and told him to bring his PJs and to be prepared for an encounter with the third kind. So we threw on our PJs and sat down right in front of my TV, and at exactly 3:33 a.m., the screen changed from the white Silent Hill-esque static to something more ominous. There was an alien on the screen speaking directly to us in a low-pitched, garbled voice. And I'm going to refrain from showing as much of this as possible because you really need to see it for yourself. To say we were shook would be an understatement. Have you heard of any wild and crazy myths about Animal Crossing New Horizons from any of your friends or read anything strange online? Be sure to let us know in the comments down below if so. And if you enjoyed this video, then why don't you go ahead and start a rumor about that subscribe button? I heard that if you subscribe to Nintendo Life that you'll be granted 3 wishes by Wisp. But don't take my word for it. That's just what I heard. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Zian from Nintendo Life. I had a lot of fun making this video and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Please stay safe out there and we will see you next time.